I was say you did ask me if I wanted to go to open house. You said she was gonna ask you, and I don't know if she did. She wanted to know. She had wanted to know if you wanted.
And they said, hey, we're thinking about giving a commutation or pardon here. You were the prosecutor on the case. That's the normal way that a clemency application is dealt with. That is not what happened here. And these weren't secrets. The things that I'm telling you about, all of this stuff was known at the time. About these two individuals.
I mean, to me, this is where our broken politics continue to service Donald Trump. Because in Republican politics, in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, lights out. If this were on the other side, if this was a Democratic nominee for any office who had commuted the sentence of anyone who went on to be violent, punching a wife, two wives, I mean, to have pardoned two wife beaters is in the old pre-Trump politics before gravity went away. Lights out, disqualifying, end of story.
Right. Do you remember Willie Horton, Nicole? I'm sure you do.
Of course I do.
Mike Dukakis, right, lets a guy out for a week, not even personally, but his government in Massachusetts lets a man out of prison for a weekend who commits an awful crime. That becomes the most significant political ad of that fall campaign and did direct damage to Mike Dukakis. I question whether these two important stories that Mike and his colleagues at the New York Times have uncovered will have the same effect, because you're right, we're in a different world now. This is an example of an extension of what we were talking about before the break, right? Of the former president disregarding norms of the Department of Justice that have been observed for years. There's no question that constitutionally, legally, the president has complete power to pardon anyone. The presidents of both parties have put in place systems to guide that discretion to prevent against these kinds of mistakes.
Good evening, everyone. Council President, I believe we have a quorum.
Thank you. Trenton City Council meeting, September the 3rd, 5:30 p.m. We now call this meeting to order. Let us please stand for the flag salute. I, adequate notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act pursuant to Public Laws 1975, Chapter 231. This agenda is complete to the extent known and was sent to the Trenton Times, posted on the first floor bulletin board in City Hall, and filed in the city clerk's office. Formal action will be taken. Mr. Garcia.
Certainly. Roll call. Councilwoman Edwards,
Present.
Vice President Figueroa Kettner,
Present.
Councilwoman Frisbee,
Present.
Councilwoman Gonzalez. For the record, Councilwoman Gonzalez is present telephonically. Councilman Harrison.
Present.
Councilwoman Williams.
Present y presente.
Está bien. And Council President Feliciano.
Present.
Myself, Brandon Garcia, Municipal Clerk, present. Legislative Counsel, Mr. Edward Kaloji. And City Attorney, Mr. Wes Bridges. Thank you. And Madam President, if it is your wish, I will read the invocation.
Yes, thank you.
Almighty God, who holds the fate of man and nation, we most humbly beseech thee to bless this our city, these deliberations, and these thy servants, that they may act with wisdom and understanding for the good of our community and thy greater glory. Amen.
Amen.
And Madam President, it's my understanding that your next agenda item is the council recognition. If you'd like to introduce that yourself.
Yes, thank you. Tonight, we have a very special woman who is here with us tonight that we are going to honor here at our meeting. Her name is Miss Nicole Hamlet, and she was named Mercer County's 2024-2025 Teacher of the Year. She is an exceptional educator at Trenton Central High School. She teaches general biology. She teaches advanced placement biology and honors biology. She is a wonderful representation of Black excellence. She is truly a Black girl that rocks. We are excited to honor her tonight. It's been a long time. She's the second teacher from Trenton Public Schools that has been honored with this distinction in Mercer County, right? The last time was, I think, 2021, but this award has been extended since as early as 1998, 1999. So she has done very well exemplifying what it is to be a dynamic educator. And so to make tonight a beautiful occasion for her, various people have gotten together and want to make presentations to her. So with that being said, we're going to move a little bit out of order. Ms. Hamlet, if you will step up to the podium, please, so that we can properly acknowledge you tonight. Everyone, this is Ms. Nicole Hamlet. Mercer County Teacher of the Year, 2024, 2025. I have the honor of working with Ms. Hamlet. So she is a phenomenal woman. So to start this off, we have a proclamation that will be presented to Ms. Hamlet on behalf of Mayor Reed Gusiora by Acting Mayor Kenneth Douglas. You got to press the button. We still don't have that working.
Still not. Take this one here in front of Mr. Kaloji.
This one?
That's the one.
Just bring it over.
Should stretch. Not stretching. Back, back. What is fire?
Good evening, Council President, Council.
Nicole Hamlet, congratulations. On behalf of Mayor Gusior, who was not able to attend today, I want to say congratulations and thank you from the city of Trenton. And I am the director of the fire department, City of Trenton Fire Department, for your accomplishment of being Mercer County's Teacher of the Year. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's get it. Yeah. Right here.
Next, we have a special presentation from Congresswoman Bonnie Watson Coleman, presented by Councilwoman Josie Edwards. Yeah, give it to her.
I'm a little vertically challenged. On behalf of Congresswoman Bonnie Watson Coleman, on this day, we celebrate the success of Nicole Hamlet, a biology teacher that has served the city of Trenton as an educator for 19 years, and recognize her as the 2024 Mercer County Teacher of the Year. Congratulations.
So I don't see our Mercer County, yes, I do. I do, hey. So now we'll have a special presentation by our Mercer County executive himself, Dan Benson.
Do you have a separate one for the commissioners?
Yes.
Okay, I don't want,
Yes, sir.
normally I do a nice long thank you and congratulations as well from them. Because we are a team at the county, but this is such a wonderful occasion that it's great that we're going to get to do it twice from the county. I have a science background. I wouldn't be where I am without that science background and the teachers that got me where I am. And I know the students that you've worked with over these years feel the same way in all that they do, whether they went on to be scientists themselves, whether they want to be teachers inspired by you, or whether they're out working to better their community. It's all because of you. And that's why you're Teacher of the Year. And we're so proud of you. We're proud of you as a Mercer County, as well as our capital city. And so on behalf of the county, we have a wonderful proclamation to recognize this wonderful moment. Thank you so much.
Next, we have a proclamation honoring you on behalf of the Mercer County Board of Commissioners to be presented by Commissioners Nina Melker and Sam Frisbee. You want to speak?
Sure. So Nicole, we want to, from the Mercer County Board of Commissioners, we want to say congratulations to you. This is an incredible honor for any teacher. We've worked with multiple educators. Two of them have been Teacher of the Year. One, Lucy Walter, but in Pennsylvania. And then Pat Calavita, who is now deceased, but here from Lawrence, who was Teacher of the Year. So we know how difficult it is, but we know how rewarding it is. If you don't know the name Maurice Ashley is the only African-American grandmaster of chess in the world. And Maurice said, when I asked him, what did it take to become a grandmaster of chess? He said, it was like getting my doctorates twice. And when you're working in communities like Trenton and Newark and Camden and Vineland and Bridgeton, all of which I've worked in, it's almost like getting your doctorates twice, because the children are able, but they also come to your classroom with societal issues that follow them into the classroom. And so when you're doing that work, we know that it's worthwhile. Thank you for doing that work. Well worth it. And we're so proud of you. And she's a West Wardian as well.
Next, we have a special joint legislative resolution that's presented by legislative districts 14 and 15. Signed by Senator Turner, Assemblywoman Reynolds Jackson, Assemblyman Varelli, Senator Greenstein, Assemblyman D'Angelo, and Assemblywoman McCoy, be presented to you by Council Vice President Jenna Figueroa Kettenberg.
So on behalf of myself and my fellow colleagues, I'd like to present you with this joint legislation. And I would like to offer my gratitude and appreciation for all the hard work that you do in our community and in our school system. And keep doing what you do. You're fantastic. Thank you very much.
Do we have any representatives from Ewing Township? All right, so we have a proclamation that will be presented to Ms. Hamlet from the Council of Ewing Township by our Councilwoman Teska Frisbee. Thank you.
So I just want to say congratulations, and we are proud of you for various reasons, but as a mother of a child with special needs, it is a chore to send your child off and know they're in good hands and secure hands. Knowing that we have someone like you that's watching over our children gives us that safety and security and peace of mind. So thank you and congratulations.
Do we have any representatives from Hamilton Township? We have a proclamation on behalf of the mayor and council members. Anyone from Hamilton Township? Come on. Our Mercer County exec, who is a Hamilton resident. Yes. Thank you.
And often as someone who has, and what I love about this, that was 20 years ago. We're still using the same folders. You know, they bought a lot many years ago and they're being economical. And so I'm just going to read a piece of this because I think it's really important. Whereas Nicole loves what she does and plans to start a biotechnology program for high school students and developing partnerships with community laboratories where students can gain real-world experience in the field. This is so important because we know we have environmental challenges in our communities. And when we have students take control of their environment by testing their water, testing the soil, testing the air, we're not only teaching them about what's around them, but we're teaching them that they have the power to change the environments that they grow up in. And that is a game changer for some of our students. So again, on behalf of Hamilton Township, my hometown, and my former position here, on behalf of Mayor Jeff Martin and the council, we present this proclamation. Thank you so much.
Do we have any representatives from the Township of Hopewell? All right. This will be presented, this proclamation will be presented to Ms. Hamlet by Councilman Joseph Harrison.
Thank you. Thank you for all your hard work. We're all here just to recognize you for all your work. All of Mercer County knows what a wonderful job you do. So thank you from the bottom of our heart. We know how hard your job is. We know how, if we didn't have more teachers like you, which I'm grateful that we have you and you're teaching others. So thank you for all you do and have a blessing. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
And now if we would have Mayor Patricia Hendricks Farmer come up and Councilwoman Olympia come up on behalf of Lawrence.
On behalf of Lawrence Township, teachers have a very special place in my heart. I come from a family of educators, and having served on the school board as president, I know how important the role that you play with our students, and science especially takes a special type of teacher. So I want to congratulate you on all that you've done for the students in Trenton, and congratulate you again as the Mercer County Teacher of the Year. Awesome.
Is Princeton in the house? All right. In that case, Princeton, this proclamation will be presented by Councilwoman Jennifer Williams.
So I just want to say congratulations. What you do every day, teaching the level classes you do, none of us would be up here on city council dais without good teachers such as yourself. And we would not be able to have a good functional society without teachers such as yourself. So thank you so much for everything you've done. And on behalf of the good people of Princeton, I want to just present this to you. Thank you.
Is Robbinsville Township? Okay. In that case, this will be presented by Councilwoman Edwards. And the significance in all of this is this: if you notice, I reached out to the towns, every town in Mercer County, because that's how important this is and you are to us here in the city of Trenton. And we wanted to make sure that everyone knew just how special you are and the tremendous work that you do. So that is why you hear the different towns. These are everybody in Mercer County coming together to celebrate you, because you deserve that.
I'm just going to read a little paragraph of one of the whereases on here. It really stands out to me, where it says the competition among teachers at every level of education is steep throughout Mercer County. Nicole Hamlet and her vision of starting a biotechnology program for high school students and developing partnerships with community laboratories so that her students can gain real world experience helped her stand out among her peers. So again, congratulations.
West Windsor. We have a representative from West Windsor. Okay. In that case, this proclamation will be presented by Council Vice President Jenna Figueroa Kettenberg. Almost there.
Hello again. Again, I just want to express how happy I am being a Trenton High graduate and, you know, a product of Trenton Public School System. It is so amazing to have dedicated teachers like yourself that pour into the students, because it's something that we need. And it's something that whether you realize it or not, the students take it with them in life. And it often reflects back to that one teacher or those two teachers that made an impact in their life. So again, this is your history, this is your background, this is what you've done to be the amazing, flourished, prosperous woman that stands before us today. Everybody, I'm sure, already knows these things, so I'm not going to read them. But again, thank you so much as a product of Trenton Public Schools for doing what you do.
The Borough of Pennington. Okay, in that case, this proclamation will be presented by Councilwoman Teska Frisbee. Thank you. Right. We just might be.
Yeah, you just want me all day. So I just want to say congratulations again, and I am extremely proud to say that you're in my ward, West Ward. So I'm very excited about that. But for all that you do, for all that you are going to do, for all the seeds that you're going to sow, you are sincerely appreciated, and we thank you.
Do we have East Windsor Township? No. Okay. So in that case, this proclamation will be presented by Councilman Joe Harrison.
It truly is a blessing that everybody in Mercer County is recognizing you. So thank you from Trenton and from everybody from this great city and its state. Thank you.
Before I get to the resolution by council, we have a presentation by Ms. Shanique Talaferro. She is the founder of Black Women New Jersey. She has a resolution that she'd like to present to you tonight. In the microphone, Shanique, in the mic, thank you.
I'm
want you on the record.
This is a true honor, being a Trenton resident my whole entire life, going through the school system, understanding how powerful and dynamic your presence is amongst our students, and being able to present this to you, representing 15K Black women in New Jersey. Not only are you impacting Trenton, Mercer County, the state, you are a symbol of our world and of our future. And I truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for all that you do and continue to inspire people like me and our future generation.
All right. And now with that being said, a resolution honoring Nicole Hamlet, Mercer County's 2024-2025 Teacher of the Year. Whereas Nicole Hamlet is a teacher of general biology, honors biology, and advanced placement biology at Trenton Central High School and has been teaching for 19 years in the city of Trenton. And whereas Nicole attended the University of Maryland Eastern Shore, where she earned a Bachelor of Science degree in biology in 1997. After a few years, she went back to school and earned a post-baccalaureate degree in biotechnology in 2001, followed by a master's degree in developmental biology in 2005. And she most recently earned a master's education degree in administration and leadership from Georgia and Court University. And whereas originally Nicole wanted to spend her life pursuing research with a focus on cell communication and molecular biology, she worked for 5 years researching the eye and developmental diseases of the eye, including retinoblastoma and degenerative eye disease, while working on her first graduate degree. When funding changed for the laboratory, Nicole decided to become a teacher and teach in an urban district. And whereas Nicole loves what she does, and her future plans are to start a biotechnology program for high school students, developing partnerships with community laboratories where her students can gain real-world experience in the field. In addition to her becoming a future administrator within the district, she feels that teaching is a passion and is something that she is compelled to do every day. Nicole also believes that every student deserves the opportunity to learn in an inclusive and active learning environment, and the learning environment should be culturally responsive as well to meet the needs of the students in the classroom. Now therefore be it resolved that the entire City Council of the City of Trenton, County of Mercer, State of New Jersey, hereby recognizes Nicole Hamlet, Mercer County's 2024-2025 Teacher of the Year, for your unwavering dedication to strengthening our communities through education, promoting unity, service, and awareness. Thank you for being a positive beacon of light for the children in the capital city, exhibiting true Black excellence in education. Presented this third day of September 2024. Congratulations. And now if you'd like to give us a few words, and then we're gonna come down, we're gonna do a quick pick, and then we're gone.
I would like to say thank you. Thank you for the recognition. I have spent the last 19 years working in the city of Trenton. I love what I do. I love my students. Under the direction of our superintendent and my amazing principal, Mrs. Mary Courtney, we absolutely love coming in every single day and watching our students grow. Education, as my mother always taught us, is the most powerful thing. So my background started long before I decided to become a teacher. I had a powerful mother that pushed us to excel, and that's exactly what I do with my students. I push them to excel in their designated area. It may not be science, it could be business, it could be computer technology, but all of the students here in the city of Trenton are unique and special, and we need to empower them because this is their future. This is their future. So on behalf of, I just want to say thank you. This is really overwhelming. I love what I do. Trust me, every single day I'm motivated to go in and work with our amazingly beautiful students here in this city. Yes. So thank you.
So if you don't mind, if you could join us in the corner over there for a couple quick pictures. Everyone bear with us for a moment. Thank you.
Thank you.
We got the budget, right? Got the public portion where there's a public hearing, right? So. Wait, we're doing that, right? Yeah. Right there. Now, they don't have to vote on it directly after this. They can vote on it through they're voting tomorrow, on Thursday anyway. What I'm asking is.
What's he saying?
I didn't know you guys didn't know that. Here's what I'm after.
Then after this, we could have the commissioners, mayor, councilwoman, and Jefferson County executive. And Director Douglas activate. Mr. Garcia.
Certainly, Madam President.
Thank you.
Madam President, the next item on our agenda here is a presentation by Kingsbury Towers. An update?
Thank you.
Over the side. Yeah. Have it via, okay. Hold on one second, sir.
It works now? So everyone just bear with us a few minutes while they're figuring this out. Thank you. While we're waiting, I do want to recognize Nicole, Ms. Hamlet, excuse me 1 second. I do want to recognize the school board member that came out, Jeannie Weekland. Thank you, Jeannie, for always being present and on point when it comes to things that deal with our school district. So thank you for coming out to be here tonight to celebrate Nicole. So forgive me as we were going through the 50 million proclamations and resolutions, but we appreciate you. So while we're waiting for them with the technical difficulty, if we could just move on to public comment. If we could have the board brought up for public comment, please. We thank everybody for your time and your patience.
Thank you for moving things along, Madam President. At this point, we have 5 individuals signed up for public comment.
Okay,
Our first individual for public comment is Ms. Cordelia Staton.
thank you.
And to the public for public comment will be 5 minutes, as I understand it. You may address any item that you wish. The council is not obligated to respond. Thank you. Please do state your name and address for the record. What's going on now?
Thanks. Thank you, guys. Oh, it stays like that. Okay. Cordelia Staten, 310 Gardner Avenue, City of Trenton. Good evening, distinguished members of council. Tonight I am before you, I've come before you with a petition, and I am accompanied by Miss Dr. Diane Campbell and Miss Hazel Stewart. Want to join this program?
Go right ahead, ma'am.
Okay. We, the residents of the great capital of New Jersey, want to acknowledge the legacy and many contributions of the Honorable Douglas H. Palmer, the first African-American mayor of our state capital, the historic city of Trenton. During his historic tenure, 1990 through 2010, Mayor Palmer's leadership and vision for a better Trenton included economic development, home ownership, public safety,
Try this one.
utility improvements, and enhanced municipal services. He continues to demonstrate his commitment to Trenton through his charitable works, Trenton First, which promotes positive youth development through academic and athletic opportunities. Mayor Palmer continues to support community and grassroots organizations that empower neighborhoods and molds the lives of young people. With respect and admiration for the historical significance of Douglas H. Palmer's tenure as the mayor of the city of Trenton, it is only befitting that Trenton City Hall Annex be named in his honor. And what I'm going to present to council is several, hundreds actually, of petitions from the residents of Trenton asking council to please draft an ordinance naming the annex, dedicating the annex to Douglas H. Palmer. I'll let Ms. Hazel speak, and then Dr. Diane.
I would like to say good evening to everyone. On behalf of the petitions that were signed, we would like to present these petitions because we feel that, some of us feel that Mayor Palmer, the first Black mayor for the city of Trenton, we need something in this city to see and know what he has done and what we as people of the city like what he did. And I myself would like for this to be presented, all right? Thank you, and with the petitions, we'd like to get them. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Diane Campbell, and I am speaking in support of Mayor Douglas Palmer being the name on City Hall for the city of Trenton. Mayor Palmer had a broad view of the city, which included healthcare with Henry J. Austin Health Center, Capitol Health, housing with several redevelopment efforts, clean streets, his love for the parks and recreation, especially the Little League, and a solid connection, and this is very important, a solid connection with other municipalities throughout the country. Mayor Palmer was the chair of the United States Conference of Mayors countrywide. So therefore, he was able to confer with other mayors on an ongoing basis so that he would be able to bring the best to our city. In 2006, Mayor Palmer appointed me to the Trenton School Board, and I served until 2011. And at that point, there was an appointed school board. That has changed recently. I served 2 years as the vice president and 2 as the president, and I was there just in time to experience the turnover of state leadership and the removal of appropriations that Trenton had received in order to build new schools. And that appropriation was coming from the School Development Authority. And among the new schools that were planned was a new Trenton High School. And this was a controversial move because Trenton High School was one of the most historical buildings in the city. But there were a lot of people who said, we don't want to be held hostage to history in Trenton. And so the movement started to get a new Trenton High School. And it was so bad. There was asbestos. There were leaks that made the asbestos leak down on the students. The theater, the chairs were all broken. There was mold, there was mildew. And even with the state of Trenton High, there was a fight to improve it, to either build a new one or to do something more, to make sure that our students didn't have to experience an environment like that every day. Mayor Palmer pulled together Reed Gusiora, who was an assemblyman, Senator Shirley Turner, Congresswoman Bonnie Watson Coleman, and more to address the need to have a new Trenton High School. And we visited schools in Robbinsville and New Brunswick, and we had our hard hats on going in and out of schools that were being built so that we could make sure that our students in Trenton didn't have to experience this while they were trying to get an education. So when the time came, we built the new high school with the support of a lot of citizens in Trenton. Every stone that could be turned and every button that could be pushed, Mayor Palmer was there to make sure that that happened. And when the opening came, there was a prayer march around the school. And I stood across Chambers Street saying my own prayers as the tears ran down my cheeks because I am a Trenton High School alumni and a graduate. And this was so important to my heart. And so when we look at the new school, the technology, all of the comfortable zoning within that school, the beautiful theater, the wonderful athletic fields, all of these things happened because Mayor Palmer understood how important the education of Trenton people is to employees who work in this building, employees that work at the county building, at the state building, and nonprofits. All of this happens if you get the best education possible that can happen. And within this, of all the things that Douglas Palmer did, I walked beside him as he did this particular effort. And if you have a chance to ever go and visit Trenton High, because it's so easy to just ride by, to take a look, to see what a wonderful, wonderful, and excellent educational facility it is. Thank you. I too have petitions that I would like to submit.
Thank you. I believe the next individual we have for public comment is Andrew Bobbitt.
Good evening, fellow council members and friends. I'm here to talk about petitions that's going around for the Honorable former Mayor Douglas H. Palmer.
I'm sorry, sir. We just need your name and address for the record.
Oh, do you really know when I did that? Okay. Andrew Bobbitt, 72 Phillips Avenue, North Trenton.
Thank you.
The reason I'm here, you're going to have other individuals will be coming here talking in front of you council members. And there's a beginning, there's going to be a middle, and there's going to be an end. I'm here to talk about the beginning. In 1989, as we were out here working for Mayor Doug Palmer, And you wouldn't believe during the time period this man ran, it was like 1957 in Alabama. That's how prejudiced, racist these individual cops were in this city. And I could say that because I was there. During the time period, as we was going around trying to get people registered, and I have to give a shout out, y'all know him, to Rodney Washington and myself, we delivered, each one of us, 1,000 new petitions of registered voters. During that time period, when you came to City Hall, 1989, 88, City Hall had to be 85% white, 10% Black, 5% Latino, before Mayor Palmer got here. During that time period, I'll never forget, the council, I'd say the clerk office wasn't located where you guys are at. It was on the second floor. As we walked in here to turn in petitions, getting called the N-word and said, y'all N people would not make it up in here. That was a determination I took back to the headquarters, and we pushed it just because of what that individual said. And we wanted to work harder. We're talking about the time period when Mayor Palmer ended up becoming mayor. Let's talk about the other racism. The police department coming around his house, bugging his phones. See, these are things people don't know about. But we kept determination with Mayor Palmer to continue to fight to change the city around. We also had to change the police department. Thanks to my girl, Cordelia Staten, and her team of us. Lonnie Marshall is not here, Dave Pont and myself. We put a group together called Yes We Can campaign. Yes, we can change the Trenton Police Department. If nobody knew back then, a police chief could stay as long as he wanted to. Council couldn't do nothing about it, or the mayor. A lot of people don't know that. So what we did, we had to do a whole new campaign over, to change that whole new election, to turn a police chief into a police director that the council and ourselves can oversee and make sure they do the right thing. So like I said, there's the beginning of every story, but these are the parts of the story you don't know about. And I have to give a shout out for when more people of our color and more people of brown color start coming here, Carlos Pacheco. If anybody remember Carlos Pacheco? Carlos Pacheco was a Latino community leader right here in the city of Trenton. He was doing what I'm doing today, community affairs, to bring people of color in City Hall to work when they was deprived of jobs years ago. So when you see the struggle, I always try to tell these younger people, where you at now, the majority of the young people that's working in City Hall now are getting able to get jobs in the city. Don't forget, that was a struggle of people that had to put you here that we went out and worked for years ago with Mayor Doug Palmer. Some of the same programs as I see working in recreation for 20 years, those programs are still running in your city of Trenton today from Mayor Douglas H. Palmer, and especially in recreation. But the legacy is only a legacy to me. And I remember working with Greg Grant when he played for the Phoenix Suns and walked around and got 500 petitions to name Greg Grant Park out there on East State Street. We got to stop. And I heard people saying, well, he's not dead yet. Why are we naming a building after him? Why do we have to be dead to show people the roses and the flowers while they living? And we got to stop that. I have seen a lot of individuals. I've seen a lot of individuals rename things after while we wait till they pass away. So we'll be back soon with more people, more stories about Mayor Palmer. So I'm hoping next week we could go ahead through this and name this building after an honorable Mayor Douglas H. Palmer. Thank you.
Bernard McMullen, did I get that correct? Thank you.
Good evening, Council. Good evening, members of the thing. My name is Bernard McMullen. I reside at 1622 Riverside Drive on the island. I want to add my voice to support the effort to rename or to name the City Hall Annex in favor of Doug Palmer. I worked with Doug on many issues, particularly around flooding, since I do live on the island. And I notice of late that I've also been sort of walking in his shoes because, as you know, Doug liked and likes to eat. And that brings me up to the main reason that I'm here today. I am the coordinator of something called Taste Trenton. This is in our 8th year. And I'm going to announce that we have moved from being simply a weekend event to 10 days, now called 10 Crucial Days of Dining. And it begins next Friday, the 13th, and runs through the 22nd. There are 36 restaurants spread across Trenton involved in this effort. And for those of you who don't know, this is how it works. You purchase a wristband like this. For $10, it's good for the entire week. It's sort of your passport into any and all of the 36 restaurants who are waiting for you to come across their threshold so that you can taste their food, see what it looks like, and they're offering you special deals. Sometimes it might be a small plate, sometimes of a specialty, or it might be 20% off on a menu item, anything you want. Sometimes it's great opportunities to try out new foods. So I encourage you and everyone else to join us. You can find out about all of the restaurants and their menus, thanks to a good friend, Yana D, I should say that. It's up and running as of noontime today. You can check out the menus, you can see what the possibilities are, and you can order your wristband for $10 and pick them up at the 1719 William Trent House Visitor Center starting on the 11th. So I hope you can come out. It's going to be a great fun, and this is an economic development effort to be sure that Trenton's restaurants, of which there are more than 120, to ensure they survive. The second thing I want to invite you to is this Friday and every subsequent Friday in September is the renewal of September Fridays in the cemetery, held at Mercer Cemetery across from the train station. There'll be food trucks, there'll be food. Come on down, see what's going on in the cemetery, and hear about the major grant we received through Mercer County. Actually, Mercer County received the grant on our behalf to change the accessibility of that cemetery, to include increased lighting and security and things like that, and provide what the Department of Transportation of New Jersey calls safe passage from transit and to downtown Trenton. So this is a celebration of that. I hope you can come out between 11:30 and 1:30 on each Wednesday in September. Thank you so very much. And I will hand these to the clerk and he can hand out to folks. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Madam President, I believe those are all the individuals we have for public comment at this time. I understand, excuse me one moment. Councilwoman, are you with us?
Yes, it disconnected, but thank you.
Thank you. My apologies. I believe this brings us back to our budget item our Kingsbury Tower update. Go ahead, sir. And Madam President, just so the gentleman knows how long he has for his presentation.
10 minutes.
About 10 minutes, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Good to see you again. So I'm just going to go over a brief update on where we are with the Kingsbury Towers preservation and reiterate and ask that we made of you back in March and have not talked a lot about since, but we want to move the project forward because we're getting ready to close and start the rehab. So With that, just a little overview of what we're doing here. You've seen this slide before. We are purchasing and rehabilitating Kingsbury Towers, which, as you all know, need a lot of work. We've been doing this with HMFA and with the city council. We meet bi-weekly. So this is a way of us sharing our progress and updates with the rest of the council and the public. You've seen this slide before as well. Just a reminder that this is a extremely extensive rehabilitation of the towers, including apartment interiors, common areas, a new exterior of the building, windows, roofs, and all major building systems will be replaced or repaired where necessary. In addition to adding accessible units to meet current UFAS standards. So this slide you haven't seen before. This is, a substantive update on what we've been doing at the site over the last few months since we last presented. If any of you have driven past the low rise or the townhome part of the site, it's now completely fenced off. The windows are boarded up and it's being prepared for demolition. In the meantime, we've worked with New Jersey HMFA to push the financing of the acquisition and rehab forward. We got a declaration of intent for the transaction on August 15th, and we're on the November 7th board meeting for a commitment of their mortgage. We hope to close almost immediately thereafter and get to work. We've also made some upgrades at the site, the physical plant. We've repaired the HVAC system, which was blowing very cold and hard all summer. Some might say too cold, but that's not really a problem in my mind. Fire alarm is repaired, the emergency generator is repaired, and we've increased security. And as of either today or tomorrow, we will have submitted permits for the rehab to the building department so that we can get to work. So the ask today is related to the pilot that you all helped approve back in February. I spoke about this a little bit back in March, but essentially it's too large of a transaction to do in one. So we've split it into two. And in splitting it into two, it requires us to split the approved pilot into two. There's no difference in the economics that will be delivered to the city. And the annual payments are just going to be split in half, one from each tower. And we've worked with the city staff to create a draft an agreement that I think looks almost exactly like the agreement that was approved back in February and March. Questions?
Council Vice President.
Councilwoman Frisbee.
So one, Eli, I want to tell you thank you again. You and Jonathan and the team have been doing a phenomenal job with this. And as we get closer to getting this project done, I just want to reiterate, that a lot of folks think that this is something, we say we're going to work on Kingsbury. We actually had Councilwoman Edwards and I were just in a room last week, and she made mention that we were working on Kingsbury, and someone said, wait, did you just say Kingsbury? And we're like, yeah, it's still going on. It's not something that is an overnight thing. So we are grateful for the work that continues with this. I would ask that you would send the slides to council. If you would just send that to us, and we can make sure that it gets to the rest of our constituents. But I don't have any questions. I just want to say thank you for the diligent work, and I look forward to continue the work with you.
Thank you. We're excited.
Council Vice President?
Councilwoman Williams.
Thank you. So Eli, if you could outline what the process is going to look like for the demolition, and, kind of if you have an outside date when that might occur, because I know particularly for folks who are streaming, that might be of interest.
Yeah. So the demolition and the funding for it is going to be a part of the greater financing. So when we close after that November 7th board meeting, that's our first order of business, is to start the demolition. So ideally sometime in early to mid-November.
Okay. Do you have an idea of how long that process might take, and the removal of all the materials? Because I know you've been doing remediation on any asbestos or any issues previously.
Yeah, so the remediation is actually done as of today. Today was the last day of that work. So we'll start with the demo in November and it'll take somewhere in the 4-month range.
4 months. Okay, so we'll be talking roughly like February, March then.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any additional questions or comments from council?
Councilwoman Gonzalez, do you have anything for the presenter at this time? I'm going to take that as a no.
Thank you so much for providing the information to us, for keeping us updated. As this has been completely contentious, as we've been going through the motions of learning what we can do and what has been done and how we can help the residents and move the city forward with this project. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Garcia, we can proceed.
Certainly. Thank you very much, sir. Madam Vice President, I believe that brings us up to the budget item on the agenda. I understand we do have a presentation waiting from Mr. Cherry.
Proceed.
And so he knows how much time does Mr. Cherry have?
10 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Cherry.
Good evening, members of council and members of the public. As was requested last year, we just, in preparation for the public hearing on the introduced budget, we were asked to bring back the presentation that we had provided for the introduced budget. So we have done so this evening. This presentation is available for the public on our website, as is the introduced budget itself. And once we adopt the budget on Thursday, hopefully, that budget will also be available. Since this is just kind of a refresher of an old presentation, I didn't want to go through it in complete detail, but just to highlight, we do still have a $280.1 million budget, as noted on this slide that we talked about in July. The budget was 12.8 million over the appropriations cap. We were able to work with the state to get that number down to about 9 million. And then on August 14th, we did successfully petition the local finance board and receive a waiver to move $9 million worth of inside the cap funding to outside of the cap, which is just an accounting language. The budget itself didn't change. We just were permitted to introduce and adopt at this number. You will see that work in the actual amendment resolution that is on the docket for today, but it just moves, it primarily just moves money from inside the cap to outside of the cap. These numbers here, which I know are very small on the screen, but again are available online, have not changed at all. We kept the numbers the same. The only changes you'll see in the amendment are very, very small amounts to a couple of line items, but primarily grants. And then, as I said, $9 million moving from inside the appropriations cap to outside the appropriations cap, which again is not a change that anyone in the public will experience. It's just an accounting issue. Did any members of the governing body have any specific questions or need any particular refreshers as we move into this public hearing?
Council President.
Councilwoman Williams.
Thank you. Just a broad question, just for folks who may not be as familiar with the budget process and how it's put together. Are there any economic assumptions or accounting assumptions that are usually used with a budget like this? Or is it kind of the straight process from year to year, no matter what's happening nationally?
We aren't permitted in the state of New Jersey to make any assumptions. everything we do is based on either revenue or expenses from the prior year or a commitment specifically to revenue for the next year. So for example, if we have a grant, until we have a letter committing to funding that amount, we can't enter it. And while we do make some assumptions, for example, if we see that the price of gas, for example, during the pandemic, grew substantially, we may budget a little bit extra in those areas. I would say over 85% of our budget is spoken for just by a statutorily determined process.
Very much.
Of course.
Any other council members have any questions?
Council President?
Yes, Councilwoman Edwards.
I just have one question.
course.
Does the increase in the library's budget or the budget period for the library include East Trenton Library? I know that they're coming to a close with the renovations and trying to get that library back on, I guess, open, but is it going to be funded by the city?
So my answer is, as far as I know, no. I believe that that is not going to be a library operated by the Trenton Free Public Library. My understanding is that the intent there is to run a community center that offers some of the same services that a library may offer. And it is perhaps the case that in the future, they'll partner with the Trenton Free Public Library to offer some sort of service, but I believe that the Trenton Free Public Library is not at this current stage at a place where they can operate that as a separate library.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Thank you. Mr. Garcia?
Certainly.
Before we continue, I believe that, and they, it may have just been a slight oversight. There was a representative from the Cavaliers that wanted to come forward and make a public comment. If somebody
Okay.
wanted to come forward and make a public comment on behalf of the Cavaliers, now would be the time to make that comment. Please turn the mic on, sir. Thank you, honey.
Hi.
Hi.
Good evening, Councilor. My name is Greg Brown. I'm the president of the organization, the Cavalier Organization. And we just wanted to talk about how much Bob had done for the city of Trenton and as far as with the youth, and how we still is active today as far as in helping kids, you know, who have mental problems and stuff like that. So, and then I have one of the oldest members who know a little bit more than what I do about the Cavaliers and Bob Bingham and what he had done.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, council.
Good evening.
It's my obligation to let you know, we don't know, that this man should be named a street after him. You have young men who came from the streets to be lawyers, doctors, engineers, barbers, you name it. We produce them. On the agenda here, it says to name the street Bingham Boulevard, but that's to be corrected to Robert W. Bingham Boulevard. He should have a street named after him.
I'm sorry, could you say what should the corrected name be, sir? I'm sorry.
Robert W. Bingham
Robert W. Bingham
Boulevard.
Boulevard. Thank you.
When they was talking about Doug Palmer, I walked Doug out the building for the last time. I was here, and Joe knows. How's your mother doing, Joe?
Thank you.
Good. I was in this building for 18 years, so I know what council is all about. And I want to say that Cordelia and many others were great council people, and I pray that you be great council people. Just keep doing the good work. Again, back to Mr. Bingham. Here's a man that took kids off the street, marched with the presidents of the United States, marched at the World's Fair, marched all over this country as national champions representing the city of Trenton. And there's no reason why the works of this great man shouldn't be recognized with a boulevard. There's no reason why he shouldn't be. I mean, I guess if he's looking down on us now, he can clap his hands and say, I got some old soldiers still fighting the battle, knowing that what he's done for us took us from drugs, alcohol, wrongdoing. Did you know you had to maintain the C average to march in this drill team? You could not be a failure in school. The lady was talking about education. Well, that was on our plate when we was young men. So to stand up for education, we must do that. It's important. I want to thank the council. Cavaliers, would you please stand, please? There's many more than. There are many more than this. A whole lot of them are deceased now, but we never let their spirit down as long as we can march. Keep us in your prayers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam President, if it's your wish, we can return to the budget hearing.
Yes.
And I'll now open up the meeting to the public. Are there any members of the public that wish to speak on the budget only? Seeing none, Madam President, at this time, we can move on to civic comments. You will be voting on Thursday.
Okay, thank you. All right, so tonight we'll start with Councilwoman Williams.
Thank you very much, ma'am. First, before I begin, I know Mr. Gene Correa, sir, yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge, thank you very much for joining us tonight as a Vietnam veteran. Thank you for your service to our country, sir. And if there are any other veterans in the room tonight or families, thank you very much for your service to our country too. I just have a few quick announcements. It was really good to see Ms. Staton, Ms. Hazel, Ms. Campbell come out tonight and speak. It's a very important issue, but it's always great when you have good citizens involved and just don't talk, they take action. Additionally, just want to, in case anybody hasn't seen it or experienced it so far, there's some great work happening at South Warren and on West Front Street to finally fix the sidewalks and the landscape after many years. So that's something to be really thankful for. And I just want to publicly thank the Public Works Department, Director Onatieri, Mayor Reed Gusiora, the Director Richardson when she was at the Natural Resources and Culture and Recreation, but also Mr. Weah and everyone else involved, Mr. Chief Santora, because this is a project a lot of folks said wouldn't happen, and it's actually happened. So thank you so much for doing that. It was really good also to hear about the 10 crucial days of dining. I love that unique idea, take on the revolution and the battles of Trenton. And it is important to support our restaurants. So I hope a lot of folks will participate. We have a lot of good restaurants in the city that have been long time favorites. We have some newer ones and we need to support them, or we will lose them. And that's something particularly that we only have half the state workforce here in the city. We need to make sure that these businesses stay because many of them actually do employ Trentonians. And From some of the great folks I've met over the years, they started off in a Trenton restaurant and then they became chefs themselves and are starting their own businesses. So let's keep that positivity going forward. On Wednesday, September 21st, we're going to be having our next Northwood Citizens Police Advisory Council meeting, which will take place at Galilee Baptist Church, 440 Martin Luther King Boulevard at 5:30. So please, particularly if you live or have a business or do business in the Northwood, come and attend. And I'd also like to share that this coming Monday, September 9th, will be the Citizens Police Academy with the police department. And you can reach out to the Trenton Police Department for more information on it. It's a great program. Councilwoman Figueroa Kettenberg, Council President Crystal Feliciano took it last year. I will be taking it this year with apparently some of my colleagues. So I'm really happy about hearing about that. Oh, Mr. Councilman Harrison's taking it good. All right. So make sure you do participate. It helps everything we do to try to reduce crime in the city. It has a multiplier effect, but the more we know about how the police do their jobs, how we think and feel about how they're doing it in the city, it's all great communication, whether you go to a CPAC meeting or you take part in the Citizens Police Academy. And I see the community street teams are here tonight. They're very active in making sure that we have safe neighborhoods, particularly near our schools. Jason Rogers, Perry Shaw, thank you for everything that you all do to help make Trenton safer and a healthier place for everybody. Also, just want to congratulate the Cavaliers for everything they've done and thank them for in the past. And it's good to see that we will be able to honor Mr. Bingham with this honorary street renaming. It's important to them, but I think it's also important to the community. And finally, regarding streets, I was happy to go out this past weekend with my colleague, South Ward Councilwoman Jenna Figueroa Kettenberg, to get petition signatures to try to get speed bumps on Lamberton Street. And there are other streets nearby that need those and throughout our city. I know the process is tedious with petitions and making sure you get 75% of a block and it needs to be checked. And the city doesn't have enough money to do put in speed bumps everywhere we'd like them. But let's be patient. We'll get it done. And I just ask everyone to keep the faith, because each month, each week that this council is working together with the administration, with everyone involved with our city, things are getting better and we will make this a great city. It has always been one, but we need to just make sure we take care of our city a little bit better, and that's what's happening. So thank you very much, and please come back on Thursday.
Thank you. Councilman Harrison.
First, I would like to talk about the citywide cleanup that was done in all 4 wards. Wally, Hector's, Recreation, all my colleagues, the community, all reached out, did their part to help clean up this great city. It's a wonderful thing that was done. Also tonight, we recognize Miss Hamlet. What a wonderful woman. This room, seeing everybody standing up, clapping, it's what it's about, to see that how many lives that she's going to touch in a positive way and to help lead the next generation. We need more Miss Hamlets like that. So thank you. Again, tonight was brought up about Mayor Doug Palmer, about the annex, so forth. I think it's a wonderful ideal. Ms. Stewart, Ms. Campbell, I'd like to thank them because they're always want to see the best for this great city. So thank them. And I also would like to say a wonderful thank you for many years, George Michelle and Terry Michelle, the Wish-You-Wash Laundromat. He closed up after 40 years, 1002 Layler Street. He had 30 some years on the police department, 14 some years on city council, but he always worked. Him and his wife for many years worked hard for the people of this great city everywhere. So thank you, and everybody have a blessed evening, and see you on Thursday night. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Gonzalez.
to everyone who spoke this evening. One, I wanted to send prayers out to the Rivera family on the loss of one of our students. Also wanted to congratulate Ms. Hamlet on a job well done. As a educator myself, I know that we have a thankless job, so it is always great to be recognized for that. So thank you for all that you do and for being my fellow Hawk sister, my UMES graduate. Also, I want to just express that I am in support of renaming the annex after Mayor Palmer. So I want to thank everyone who was there to speak on it, who has signed the petitions in honor and support of that initiative. Also, a big thank you to the city of Trenton on the citywide cleanup. It was a job well done on all of our city employees. So I just want to say thank you, because some of those days were extremely hot. Also, thank you to everyone who came out to support my 9th annual book bag giveaway, and all of those who donated, supported, came out. A shout out to Councilman Harrison for coming out and actually getting behind the grill and assisting with the food. And thank you to Councilwoman Frisbee for her donations as always. I also want to just say this Friday, September 6th, will be Movie Under the Stars at the Juan Martinez Memorial Park on Lamberton Street, and the movie begins at dusk, and that is hosted by the city of Trenton. So thank you for everyone, for the recreation department in our city of Trenton for doing all the movie and stars and all the events that we've had all summer for everyone. And just want to wish everyone a great school year, to all of our students who are coming into school on Thursday. We are excited to have you. This is year 22 for me as an educator, and it gets more exciting every year. So I just want to say good luck and have a great school year to everyone in the city of Trenton and all around. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Frisbee.
Thank you, Council President. So again, I want to thank everybody for coming out this evening, for every part that you played. Bernard, I want to say thank you for getting this, how the Taste of Trenton, making sure that was continued. This is absolutely great. I love this. I can't wait to go door to door to our eateries. I want to also say there was a Route 29 project initiative that started last week, and I'm glad to hear that the conversation has started again, especially since that affects the West Ward heavily. So that's a conversation that we have actually been talking about for over 2 years, and I know other organizations as well. So I'm glad that there are others that are picking up the garment and the Hamlet and running with it. So I'm looking forward to continuing those conversations. I want to give a big shout out to our mayor, Mayor Rigasyor. He has been working with all of us, all of the council members, to make sure that we are informed of what's going on in our city. He keeps us updated. He makes sure that there are things that are going on in our wards that we are aware of, and just making sure that monies that need to get into our community, he's working diligently. So I want to say that we did a walk in Catwalder Park. We are working diligently on Catwalder Park, and there's a path there that has been dilapidated for quite some time. We are halfway done. The county has helped out as well. And we're working together. And that's what it's all about, is working together, recognizing that we can't do it all on our own, and then we might not be able to do it all at one time. So I want to just say kudos to him. The cleanup was absolutely spectacular. I'm so glad that the community got involved, took advantage of it. I want to say congratulations to our West Ward, who won it with over 70 tons of trash that they put out, and our incredible team, Mr. Wally Onateri, Mr. Hector Way, and even Mrs. Cruz and all their team members did an absolutely phenomenal job working in excellence, making sure that even if they needed to go back, double back, they did just that. I want to give a big shout out to Fathers and Men United for allowing me, Commissioner Frisbee, and the Greater Mount Zion to join you on this past Saturday with our Get Out the Vote and educating people on Project 2025. I think it was very effective. We're still getting comments about it. So I just want to thank you. And I want to thank everybody who was there, present, did their part. And even if it wasn't their part, they were out there and they were supporting. So I'm very appreciative of that as well. Yes, Citizens Academy, that begins next Monday, September 9th. It is a 10-week course. You can't sign up because now sign up is done, but if you have not experienced it, maybe you can get the next go round, but it is something that I'm sure everybody should look into taking a part of and educating ourselves what it looks like from the police optics, as opposed from just the options that we have. Next Tuesday, September 10th at 5 p.m. at 660 Artisan Street, the police station on, I call it Hermitage, but it's on Artisan. I will be having my West Ward Community Speaks at 5:30. I ask that you would come out and join us if you are in the West Ward, if you have something to say, if you want to hear about what is going on in the community. We've been doing this since December, and it has been fantastic. The feedback we've been getting, the police director is always there, or if not, he has a representative, and it has been an enlightening and encouraging and growing conversation. So I encourage everyone to please come out who that may affect. Again, I want to say congratulations to Nicole Hamlet, one of my West Wards. I'm extremely just proud of her and thankful for the work that she does. 19 years is nothing to balk at. That is that's just an amazing career. So I'm grateful for how she invests and is invested in our community. And I want to read a portion of our city's mission statement, which is recognizing that the people of Trenton have made us guardians of the public trust. We are committed to govern with integrity and fiscal responsibility, to seek excellence in the city's operations, and to serve all the city's people with respect and compassion. And I do support our Cavaliers. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Edwards.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It's great to be back. It feels weird. It feels like we haven't been here in a long time. But I'm back to be back in the chamber and doing the business for the people. And on that note, I want to thank all that came out to my recent town hall at Mercer County Community College. I want to thank Trenton Waterworks Department and the Parks and Recreation Department, Michael Walker and Paul Harris, for coming out to do a presentation with the guests, or do a Q&A session with the guests and give updates about the city services and things and projects that we have coming down the pike. And I want to thank Commissioner Frisbee and Councilwoman Feliciano for also giving a great greeting and some updates for the attendees as well. As Councilwoman Frisbee mentioned, we recently attended a Route 29 redevelopment project planning meeting that's being planned by some local business owners and residents in that downtown area. And I'm glad that the residents are getting more involved. And the mayor had also stepped in to provide some updates about the application that we submitted to the federal government for grant money to turn 29 into a boulevard, but we unfortunately were not awarded that, but we are heading in the right direction. So we're hoping to see some traction there in the future. I want to say I am in support of naming the City Hall Annex after former Mayor Douglas H. Palmer. He not only was the first Black mayor, but he did monumental things as a mayor of the city of Trenton for 20 years. And he continues to work in the community to help improve areas of Trenton and helping to support local businesses as well. So I'm hoping that to see this come to fruition, because it's well deserved, and we should honor and give people their flowers while they're living, not after they're gone. There is a Mayor's Boxing Championship coming up on September 7th at 2 p.m. at Father Rocco Park, where yours truly will be the announcer at the boxing tournament. As a former boxer, and my former coach, Rob Smar, is organizing this event, and I'm excited for it. I get to relive some of my past with some of my former boxing coaches and former trainees from Goss and Goss. So I'm excited for that. If you have some time at 2 p.m., join us at Father Rocco Park. And I say thank you to Kingsbury for the update. And on the note of redevelopment, I want to congratulate Trenton Housing Authority again. They just had an event or meeting last week where they were presented to $15.6 million check from HUD, where I believe the director of HUD attended, the congresswoman, the mayor, and a plethora of people from the federal government to encourage Trenton and encourage and support the North Trenton Choice Neighborhood Program. It's a mouthful, it's long, but this project is going to come to fruition. And that's what we are fighting for. That's what we're working for in collaboration with City Council and our mayor, our administration, and our local boards to bring better services, better quality housing and living, better quality of life for Trentonians. And I want to say thank you lastly to I'm sorry, Director Jelani Garrett, I can never pronounce his name, Jelani Garrett and Christy Huff and all that had played a role in putting that plan together and submitting the application on behalf of the city of Trenton. And I believe that the North Ward, the Donnelly Homes residents will be better for it. And thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you. Council Vice President Figueroa Kettner.
Thank you, Council President. Good evening, everybody. I share all of my colleagues' sentiments tonight, as I normally do. They all get to speak, and basically they've said everything that I would have wanted to say for the most part. So I really just want to welcome the students and the teachers back to school this week. We are looking forward to great things, and I really am hopeful that we have a calm, educational, soothing school year, that our kids are learning everything that they're able to learn, and that our teachers are given the tools and the patience and the capacity to be able to teach our students the way that they deserve to be taught. So congratulations, and I welcome that all. And with that, I also want to just congratulate and say thank you to all of the back to school efforts that were made throughout the city of Trenton, to everybody who hosted them, participated, donated, showed up, what have you. Everybody did a really wonderful job. Specifically yesterday, Rich Cuts on South Broad Street, South Broad and Elm, along with Kevin Hines and myself, hosted one, and it was just a lot of great fun. Trent firefighters were out there, and there were 100 free haircuts and backpacks to give away. So it was just a really great time, and there was no issues, no concerns. It was just community coming together. The city cleanup was a great success, and I must say that I had a great time just advocating for it. The South Ward picked up 65 tons of trash this year versus 55 tons last year, coming second to none only to the West Ward, and so much bigger than ours. But it was really, really great. I actually got to clean out my basement after like 14 years in my home. So it was very motivational and awesome. And all the residents who participated, who remembered to put out their trash, they were very grateful. And those who missed the cutoff or somehow forgot to put out their trash, thank you for the City of Trenton Sanitation Department for acknowledging and being flexible enough and going back out and doing those pickups for those individuals. You guys did an amazing job. So thank you very, very much. Congratulations to the Cavaliers on making history. Always love to give people their flowers. It's also great to see civic engagement in this city. So to all those who do come to city council meetings and speak on behalf of whatever your beliefs are, whatever you believe will make the city flourish and move the city forward, whether it's a gripe or it's a kudos or applause, we welcome it, because at least it shows you're paying attention. It shows that you want your voice to be heard. Going back to the cleanups really, really quickly, I also want to applaud Mr. Brady is in the audience tonight, who resides behind Chamber Street. Mr. Brady, thank you for bringing attention to certain areas in the city that needed to be cleaned up. But not only that, you have offered your services to keep a certain lot cleaned after the city did the initial cleanup. So thank you for that. That's much appreciated, and it's something that we do look forward and our residents to take upon themselves and do so. I really, really appreciate that from you. I have a South Ward Police and Community meeting coming up. It's still to be determined the date, but it has been requested from the residents. And I've been waiting it out to when our certain community officer is available. So that will be held at the CYO. I will give you dates and times very, very soon. Councilwoman Edwards alluded to the fact that we had a great meeting about the Route 29 being turned into a boulevard. This is last week. It was a great turnout. The room was full. And in 2018, when I first ran for office, it was something that I was talking about, that I was advocating for in order to build our riverfront, because, I mean, we have such amazing accommodations that can be given to the city, just if we are able to utilize our waterfront to the extent that some of the other municipalities around us on the river are able to can do. And it's really a gold mine. And with that, I'm really, really grateful that the Marine Terminal Park, we were able to get a park playground in there, which was actually a lot of fun. And in great shape. And Orange Street Park as well is under construction as we speak. There's been nothing in that park for quite some time. So I'm really, really happy about that. Also, that crime statistics are down in the South Ward. So thank you, Director Wilson and your team, for all that you're doing in the community for that. That has been pointed out to me by residents who are sending me maps and stats. So, and they're thanking me, I'm thanking you. So thank you very much. Trenton Greatness, Ms. Hamlet again. I'm glad that we were able to honor my colleagues had mentioned this, so I just want to say this was sent to me today. NAACP Trenton branch is having a free voter registration block party on Saturday, September 14th from 12 to 6 at Hedgepeth Williams. There'll be lots of events, lots of things for the kids and treats, carnival type setup. So please, if you haven't registered to vote, please come out on September 14th. Thank you very much. Thank you, Council President.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for everyone that spoke, for the presentations that came forward. Shout out again to Nicole Hamlet. She's a wonderful coworker that I've had the pleasure of working with the past now 6 years at the high school. She's a phenomenal woman doing great things. I want to thank my council colleagues for stepping in, for helping with the presentations and everything, right? The word says, be ye always ready, right? So thank y'all for being on point and stepping up and doing that. Teamwork does make the dream work. I just want to say that September 17th is National Voter Registration Day. So everyone, I mean, listen, you need to vote all the time. You need to be talking to people about registering to vote and voting, but September 17th is National Voter Registration Day, so everyone is encouraged to do something somewhere with someone. We're having a big assembly for our seniors at Trenton Central High School. I have guest speakers that are going to be coming in. It's going to be a great day. We have our clerk's office coming in as always. They come in several times a year to register our students to vote at the high school during the lunch periods and everything, because civic engagement is very important. So we're looking forward to that. October the 12th is TCHS Homecoming. So for those that are interested, be on the lookout. More information will be forthcoming regarding a parade or regarding vending and things of that nature. It will be released soon. It is on the way. I just want to say overall, thank you to the mayor, to the administration. Thank you to all of the directors and the employees that have done a wonderful job throughout the city. I see the change. I feel the change. The residents see it. They feel it. They are excited about it. Thank you for the parks, right? We're fixing up all of the parks. We're keeping them as clean as we possibly can. Thank you for cutting the trees down, man, because Councilwoman Williams, she's lethal when it comes to the request. No, in all seriousness, we all are pretty lethal when it comes to the request, right? But I thank you. And I just want to say thank you to the tremendous work that has been done to my neighbors on the island, right? We've had people who have had issues with trees for a long time that now they're able to say, that the trees in front of their homes have been cut down. They have been asking, for whatever reason, things were standing still, but I've been getting rave reviews about the work that's being done. And thank you. And that's a testament to what it looks like when good government is taking place. So for every pothole being fixed, for every water pipe that's being done, for every tree that's cut, for every park that's done, for everything that everyone does, for the time, the care, the commitment, for the sacrifice, for just doing the work. I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. It is starting to turn around, right? Rome was not built in a day. We're not going to get this thing right overnight, but we are working slowly but surely, and we are staying on course, and we are moving the plan forward, which is to get our city back together. And I believe that we are on the right path in doing just that. That being said, I thank you all again for coming out here tonight. I do support the naming of the annex after former Mayor Douglas H. Palmer. Everybody spoke as to why it should be. I share the same sentiments. You know, when people ask why or what, he was mayor 20 years, so he was doing something right, and there was a whole lot of people that liked and loved him. So with that being said, he did work then, he's still doing work now in the city, and he has a heart for the city, him and his family, and so I wholeheartedly support the renaming as well. Shout out to the Cavaliers and to Father Bryant. There is something, we're looking to rename a street after Father Brian as well. Many people came forward. Several friends of mine had mentioned and brought all of the great works and efforts that Father Brian has made and done. And so I'm excited for us to look at that and move that forward as well. Again, thank you all for coming out tonight and for everything that you do to help make our capital city great. Mr. Garcia.
Certainly. Thank you, Madam President. And moving on with the docket. Madam President, you have Council, you have minutes for approval on Thursday of June 18th. You will also have another set of minutes from July. Communications and petitions, of course, you will vote on Thursday, as well as reports. And this will bring us to ordinances for second reading and public hearing. I'll leave it to you, Madam President, if there are any questions, or if you want to ask for any questions regarding those ordinances, or if you'd like me to read them each aloud.
Does council have any questions regarding any of the ordinances here for second reading? 24-051, 52, or 53? There's no questions, Mr. Garcia.
Hearing none, moving on to resolutions. Madam President, if there are any items that anyone would like to either extract from a consent agenda or ask questions regarding items from Department of Housing and Economic Development.
Any council members have any questions regarding any resolutions regarding housing and economic development at this time?
Madam President,
Yes, Councilwoman Edwards.
I have questions about 352.
Which one?
24-352.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. Anyone else have any other questions? Housing and economic development. And just for clarity with council, excuse me, moving forward, we'll be doing housing and economic development first on the agenda so that we can move through this timely. We can discuss later, but we're doing housing and economic development first, and then we'll move everything else. Councilwoman Williams.
Yes, I have the same actually as my colleague. And then 24-353.
Okay.
And then 24-360.
Thank you. Anyone else? Housing and economic development only right now. Okay, so we'll begin with 24-352. Councilwoman Edwards.
Thank you. I just wanted to get some clarification on what the settlement agreement between the city and this property and its owner is about, so that the public can have a better understanding?
Surely. Wes, this is the one with Mr. Potts on the clawback of the property. And this is done prior to my tenure.
Council President, if I may.
Yes.
I don't have the answer to this question. I can find out. I wasn't anticipating it, but I'd have to look into it. Again, Mr. Liston wasn't here. We had someone else at the time, as well as another employee handling it. So I just don't know the answer.
So you want to pull this now, or we want to table this until the next meeting? What do you want to do?
We can table.
Okay, so we'll table 24-352 to the next meeting, Mr. Garcia.
Certainly. Are we motioning for table?
Can I have a motion to table 24-352 to the next meeting, till Thursday?
So move.
Second.
Roll call. Councilwoman Edwards,
Yes.
Vice President Figueroa Kettenberg.
Yes.
Councilwoman Frisbee,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez. Yes. Councilman Harrison.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Council President Feliciano.
Yes.
Motion carried. Item is tabled.
24-353, Councilwoman Williams.
Thank you so much. As far as my question regarding the wayfinding, I'm really glad to see this occurring because this is something, if I were go by memory, probably hasn't happened maybe since the late 80s or the 90s. And I was just curious, in the definition of installing wayfinding downtown in Chambersburg, can you light for the public what that actually means, like what geographic area we're talking about?
Yeah, you're talking about, first of all, this is a urban enterprise zone project, so it's got to be within the urban enterprise zone. These are very common in most cities where you have, especially a historic city and a capital. We will have signage in these downtown area and obviously guiding into the main corridors coming into the community. And what they do is the out-of-towners are looking for historic sites, tourism, and to the capital. And these signs will be obvious to the people from the outside. There'll be large letters on poles and with arrows. And it really improves the experience of people coming to the community because it makes it easier for them to travel around and find places, which is very important. And if you've ever been an outsider coming to Trenton, Trenton can be a very confusing place sometimes. And I know myself, when I used to come into town, when I worked in other places, I always got lost. And this will help with creating, I think, a more comfortable situation for tourism and people visiting the community.
Okay, and then Chambersburg, it would just not be one portion of it, would be the whole definition down to Clark Street.
Yes.
Okay, great. And I just have two suggestions potentially. One of which is for South Broad Street, which then it comes into North Broad, and then of course Warren Street. Back in the Revolutionary War times when we had the Battle of Trenton, South Broad was known as Queen Street and Warren Street was known as King Street. And that is of interest to people who come here for our history. So if there's a way to note that for historical tourism, I think that would be good to try to make that connection to folks that they're walking on the same streets that were here in 1776.
Yeah, I think that's a very good idea. And I think that prior to the placement and the design, I think we'll come back to the council and let them get, some input into this and what's important to their ward or important to the downtown. Just a note, but thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. And the other one is we do have a plethora, particularly North Broad and Warren around the Battle Monument portion, a number of signs that are directional that are sun bleached or in damaged repair. And, there are in other places, including Chambersburg and the greater downtown area. And I don't want to have to take away budget money from this project to replacing those signs, but just to be cognizant and maybe there's a way to really revamp that area and get rid of signs that are unnecessary or are not in good condition.
That's a very good idea. And I think that, I'm going to ask that this be tabled for the fact that I'm going to go back with those issues. And I think we're going to expand this project because if we have much signage downtown in different areas that are really, really faded and can't be seen, that we maybe increase the whole project so we can replace a lot of the signage into the downtown and have it funded by the urban enterprise zone.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Okay, so then, Mr. Garcia, when it comes to the first one, the 24,352, we were discussing about tabling it, whether it was Thursday or the 17th. I'd like to,
Clarify that to
No,
a date.
yeah, so we're doing to,
We could start this project. We could do this. I mean, if you want to adopt on Thursday, we could start this project. I'll come in with a supplemental project so we can move this faster. And then with the supplemental project, especially with the historic side of it, I'd rather do that. I'd rather move this along and get the historic part of it moving it as a second phase of this.
okay, so we're gonna table it until Thursday, this Thursday.
And we're referring to 353 here now, or?
Yes, 353.
Okay.
So we're tabling 352. We already did that. Can I have a motion to table 24,353 to this Thursday?
So moved. Second.
Moving second. Roll call, Councilwoman Edwards.
Yes.
Vice President Figueroa Kettenberg.
Yes.
Councilwoman Frisbee.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez.
Yes.
Councilman Harrison.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Council President Feliciano.
Yes.
Motion carried. Item is tabled until the 17th or
This
Thursday,
Thursday,
this Thursday,
the 5th.
the 5th. Thank you.
Council President, if I may address the prior tabled item 352. I've had the opportunity to look at the resolution. Essentially, it states exactly what the issue is here. There was a redevelopment agreement, the time within which for certain construction work to be done has since elapsed. Litigation was filed in an effort to claw back that property because of the lack of any meaningful work pursuant to the agreement. During the pendency of the litigation prior to discovery, the parties entered into settlement discussions, and the settlement agreement states basically the parameters within which this redevelopment will go forth by the redeveloper giving an outline as to the dates and deadlines that things will get done, certain payments related to the delay. So everything is pretty much recited in the settlement agreement, but that's what this resolution is about. There was a lawsuit to take back the property because the agreement was not met. During this complaint and during the litigation, there were settlement talks and a discussion was had and a decision was made in an effort to have this property redeveloped as we initially intended, to hold the owner to certain parameters and certain deadlines within which they're going to do this redevelopment. So that's the reason for that resolution. I apologize. I didn't have the resolution handy when you asked the question, but if there's any other questions, I'm happy to address them now.
Councilwoman Edwards.
Thank you. So with the settlement agreement, is the owner going to maintain ownership of the property and move forward with developing, renovating the property, or is the city clawing it back?
Go ahead, I'll let somebody.
Huh?
Yeah, no, go right ahead.
Can she ask the question or no? Can she ask the question or no?
Oh, certainly. I'm
Okay.
just
Yeah, she can.
trying to speak with the attorney. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Procedurally, in terms of the table, Council.
Right.
Yes, the owner is going to retain ownership of it and do the redevelopment. It's the settlement agreement is a 3-page doc. But to answer your question, yes, they are going to retain ownership of it.
Thank you.
My apologies, I'm sorry.
I just have a quick question. Councilman Harrison, thank you for the catch. If we're tabling these to Thursday, Director Bridges and Interim Director Liston, are you both gonna be here Thursday to provide the answers to what we're looking for? Well, you just said the one now, but to provide the answers to what we're looking for, or do we need to table this to the 17th when you both will be present?
If I may respond to the Director Liston, Council President, I will be here. I think what would be beneficial and helpful in terms of giving complete answers, if you kind of can anticipate what those questions would be, so that I can have the, documentation, proof, whatever the case may be, to show you. But yes, I will be here to answer any questions with respect to 352.
Okay, and then for 353, will you be here, Mr. Liston, on Thursday?
353.
Mhm.
What I requested, I think is if we could untable and move this, because I would write a supplemental project. Past this project, we'll have a supplemental project written, so it doesn't slow this first one down. I can get this to the state so we can get the funding. And then the second supplemental will be brought forward in a future meeting so we can increase the size of the project. But I would hate to table this and delay it. So I would request, I guess procedurally to vote to untable and leave it on the agenda.
Okay, so can I have a,
Council President?
yes?
I just want to just throw out a request. If that's the case, and I'm fine with that, if we can ask Mr. Liston to come back within 30 days with that supplemental?
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, so can I have a motion to untable 24-353 and put it back?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second?
Roll call, Councilwoman Edwards.
Yes.
Vice President Figueroa Kettenberg.
Yes.
Councilwoman Frisbee.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez.
Yes.
Councilman Harrison.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes?
Council President Feliciano.
Yes.
Motion carried. Item is untabled.
Okay. So then 24-360, Councilwoman Williams.
No, I'm fine. We can move that back on. Thank you.
Oh, so
I got my answer, yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I have
Interim
just
Director.
one thing, Madam President,
Mhm.
is on the project downtown, the sidewalks. 24-350 is a resolution which authorizes the intake of money from aisles. The project downtown is actually an urban enterprise project funded by the Urban Enterprise Zone. So I want to give credit to the Urban Enterprise Zone people who have done this project. But this is also aisles partnering for the engineering part of that. So this is a whole project funded by outside dollars for the downtown, which I think works very well in partnership with the nonprofit and with the state, with the UEZ.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay. So as we look through the rest of the docket, beyond 24-333, beyond 24-343, and 24-344, are there any questions about any resolutions that we would like to have answered before moving to consent agenda?
May I ask his numbers one more time? I'm sorry. Council President.
We're taking 24-333, that's the one to hold the executive session, right? And then 24-343, which is the settlement, because we're going into executive session about that.
Yep.
And then 24-344 was the other one for executive session.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Council President, just have a question on 346.
1 second. 346, okay.
366.
366, okay.
And then 371.
371. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other council people with any questions on any resolutions? Give it a few more minutes. I'm gonna ask a general question about 24,342 myself. If no one has any questions, we will move ahead. All right, so the first one is gonna be 24,342. This question is actually, yeah, for Chief of Staff Beach. It's just a general question. I just threw that one out there as the reason, but my question is really not
Understood.
about
Good evening,
this.
Madam President.
Thank you. So the question that I have is, and I asked it for docket review, was for the quarterly reports for a spreadsheet, right? A spreadsheet of the quarterly reports that were given. So I had, please provide a listing for all for-profit and nonprofit organizations that have submitted their quarterly reports as required. Give the name of the company and the date of the quarterly report received. For those that have not submitted, please just indicate by putting NR for not received. It says it will be provided. We still don't have it.
We are still assembling that, Madam President, because understand these two subdivisions have been going on for 3 years now, so
Right.
we have to go back and compile everything.
Okay, thank you for that. And then also, if it could be provided for council via email, just an updated spread of the ARPA funds and how we've been distributing the money and where we are as of
Absolutely.
right now, because we're coming up to December 31st, so we want to know.
We are nearing the end, Madam.
Yes, so if you don't mind, if you could send all of us that
Will do.
spreadsheet.
Absolutely.
Thank you so
And I'll
much.
send you the most recent quarterly report that we
Yes.
file with US Treasury as well.
Yes, thank you. I would appreciate that. Okay, so that's all I have for that. Thank you. 24,346, Director Wilson.
Steve Wilson, Police Director.
Councilwoman Williams.
Thank you, Director Wilson. I just wanted to ask, this resolution has to do with purchasing more body armor and other accessories for the police department. And I know some members of the public do get concerned when they see things like we're purchasing armor, other amenities that the police department needs, that it might have to do with military grade or militarization of our police departments. I just wanted to ask you to speak about what this equipment is and how it differentiates from, if at all, from the equipment our department already uses, just in case anybody has a concern.
Oh, so this is for our police officers for their bulletproof vests. Bulletproof vest has an expiration date, and 70 of our officers are reaching their expiration date. So we have to buy them new vests, and that's what this is. And then also, as we approach the other officers who will get their expiration dates as well, we'll be purchasing more. So this is just for their bulletproof vests that they wear every day on duty.
All right, thank you. And I might ask, what is the usual lifespan of a bulletproof vest for a police
5
officer?
years.
5 years?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, thank
I
you.
never knew that. Thank you. It's good to know. So we're gonna leave it on consent, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right. 24-366, Interim Director Paul Harris.
Hello, Paul Harris, Interim Director.
Councilwoman Williams.
Thank you. Thank you, Director Harris. So my question has to do specifically, so I saw the fencing and that's really great. I'm glad we're doing it because there's severe needs out there. But particularly Lipinski Park, there's presently no fencing around the court that's there, and it's used for different things between bicycle rodeo or skateboard rodeo, I believe it is. There's also folks playing handball, all different things, and there's no fence protecting the park, keeping people, from going into that area if someone's playing, or even balls going out into the street and maybe hitting a car or causing an accident. So I've had requests from constituents that fencing get replaced soon.
Yeah, so what we're going to be doing there is we're going to be replacing the asphalt. So the asphalt been awarded to a local contractor. We hope to get that done within the next 2 weeks. And then I'm going to have the fence put back. I just didn't want to put the fence back and then they damaged the new fence.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just been a long time coming because we wanted to make sure it was a local vendor.
All right, thank you. And there's also a lot of cleanup. There happens to be apparently at nighttime homeless encampments occurring, which I know you all know about. So that's a growing concern too.
Right.
All right, thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
ma'am.
Consent agenda?
Yes, please.
Thank you. 24-371, Department of Public Works, Director Onatieri. Oh, Mr. Ware, Superintendent Ware, thank you.
Council, this is Hector, representing Director Onatieri.
Thank you. Councilwoman Williams.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Ware, for coming up. So my question has to do with asphalt. I know we're all anxious to start getting roads paved and speed bumps and speed humps. So, and it's unfortunate, with the bid process that has to get rejected and start over again. Can you talk about how we might be able to get some roads paved, if at all, this year, or what the exact situation is? Because I know just in my ward, I'm sure my colleagues all have requests from constituents wanting to know, when is my street going to get done? And, now we're in September.
Okay, so due to what is going on right now, that the bid was rejected, come tomorrow, we're going to be opening the new bid and walk it on the council on Thursday. With that being said, a couple of weeks after, we might be starting our paving season. Because this wasn't done, that delayed us. Unfortunately, the list that we had for each ward would not be completed in its entirety this year because of the paving season is short, and the season, the winter will be coming up soon. But until we have less than 40 degrees weather, we'll continue paving. So we have up to maybe sometime in November or early December, depending on how the weather presents itself. As far as speed humps are concerned, after the paving season, that's when we really begin to do speed humps. I know most council members are concerned about speed humps from the residents that are requesting that speed humps be done on their streets. We just should be mindful that some of the streets are at the risk that we cannot put speed humps on those streets. So in as much as the residents want it, we should be careful that there are police vehicles flying the streets. There are ambulances flying the streets as well. So we should think about all those things before the requests have been made. But nevertheless, the streets will be paved. At least probably 50% of what we anticipated will be done.
Okay, in
Yes.
2024, as long as we have hopefully a mild early winter.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. And I just want to reiterate, how hard you all work on that department, and just particularly this past summer in the heat and the bad weather. It's very much appreciated.
Thank you. And I want to say thank you to every member of council as well for being out there doing the citywide cleanup.
And actually, one last question. Would we be able to get a new revised list of what would be done in 2024? Words?
Well, if you make that request, we surely can make that possible.
Put it in writing, okay.
Yeah, because we've gone out already and we rearranged the list based on priorities. So I know a lot of council members have certain streets that they want to get done, but then on our list of priorities, it's not really up there. So it's a give and take that we have to look at. Because there might be a street that you really want to get done, but then when we look at the streets that are damaged more, that might not be in the number.
That's understandable. Thank you very much, sir. A consent agenda, ma'am.
Thank you. All right,
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so that being said, may I have a motion to approve the following to consent agenda? Resolutions 24-348, 24-349, 24-350, 24-351, 24-353, 24-354, 24-355, 24-356, 24-358, 24-359, 24-360, 24-334, 335, 387, 385, 386, 337, 338, 339, 340, 341, 342, 345, 346, 347, 361, 362, 363, 364, 365, 366, 367, 368, 388, 389, 369, 370, 371, 372, 373, 374, 375, 376, 378, 379, 380, 381, 382, 383, and 384.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, Councilwoman Edwards,
Yes.
Vice President Figueroa Kettner,
Yes.
Councilwoman Frisbee,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Council President Feliciano.
Yes,
Motion carried. Consent agenda is assembled.
thank you.
And moving on, Madam President, if it's your wish, we can move to ordinances for first reading and introduction, if there are any questions on those.
Thank you. Are there any questions from council on any of the ordinances listed for first reading and introduction?
On your call, Madam President.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve
So moved.
Second.
To approve.
all of them? Can I say that?
They have to be.
I don't
Oh,
believe
wait,
voting
so
this
wait,
evening.
Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. So there's one thing for 24061, under the honorary street renaming that needs to be amended to Robert W. Bingham Boulevard.
We will have the amendment done, and just for reference, Madam President, this evening, we will not be approving those ordinances. We'll do that tomorrow for first reading and introduction.
Okay,
Excuse me, Thursday, I apologize.
right, okay.
All right, and with that being said, Madam President, I believe that leaves us at executive session.
Okay. Can I have a
If you want
motion to
some-
go into executive session?
So moved.
Is there a
Am I gonna
second?
second it?
Second.
Roll call, Councilwoman Edwards.
Yes.
Vice President Figueroa Kettner, Councilwoman Frisbee,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez, Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Council President Feliciano.
Yes.
Motion carried. We do not anticipate a vote this evening after executive session.
Thank you.
Is it? Right. Oh. Good, how are you?